Welcome to fourth grade history. This is lesson 138, and you need your history book for page 202. I'm going to ask a couple questions based on what we've read previously, and then we will look at this. Oh, and then you can take your quiz. So I'm going to ask those couple questions. What is a man-made waterway called? What is a man-made waterway called? It's a canal. Canal. Where did the French first attempt to build a canal? That would be the Isthmus of Panama. The Isthmus of Panama. The French wanted to build there first. What country finished building the canal? Was the United States. Okay, very good. In 2000, the U.S. gave the ownership of the Panama Canal to what country? That was Panama, okay? We gave it back to its own country. All right, and then which American admiral defeated the Spanish fleet in the Philippines? Going back a little bit more, that was Admiral George Dewey. What was the name of the group of American soldiers led by Theodore Roosevelt? They were called the Rough Riders. What battle did they fight in? The Battle of San Juan Hill. And who won the Spanish-American War? The United States won it, okay? All right, go ahead and pause the video and take your quiz, quiz 28. If your parents do not have that out for you, then you can wait till the end of the lesson. I won't be giving any answers. But make sure that you do take that quiz along with this lesson today. All right, we're going to look at the people worth knowing more about section on the bottom of 202. The man was Colonel William Gorgas. And Colonel William Gorgas was an important man because he found a way to kill all of the mosquitoes on some islands, okay? So during the Spanish-American War, more men died from malaria and yellow fever than were killed in battle. Those two diseases, malaria and yellow fever, are the diseases that these mosquitoes were carrying. And there was this problem both in Cuba and in Panama, okay? Because of the warm, moist air, it was an excellent place for the mosquitoes. If there's any type of water that remains on the ground, a little puddle, that's breeding grounds for mosquitoes. And so he found a way to destroy the mosquitoes in Cuba. The mosquitoes that carried these two diseases. And so he was successful there. And because he was successful there, they decided to send him to Panama, where he was again successful. And so he saved lives both of the canal workers and the people who lived in Panama, and also in Cuba with that. And so it doesn't explain exactly how he destroyed all the mosquitoes, but it's just interesting to note that because of his success in Cuba, they sent the U.S. military sent him to Panama and said, do it again. It's kind of neat that would happen. So let me ask a couple questions, and then I'm going to start a little bit of review of chapter 16 so that you can be ready for the test. We're going to spend the next lesson 139, reviewing. So I'm going to ask lots of questions. We're going to look at maps and everything for that. But this one, I'm just going to ask some questions, and we'll just spend a little bit of time reviewing. And then in lesson 140, and it might fall, I think it's going to fall with lesson 141 as far as actually taking the test, because I didn't want you to have the big review and take the test on the same day. So we're going to do the big review and then I'm going to move the test and it'll be on the next day. And then you're going to actually start reading the next chapter, chapter 17. So don't be surprised when you see that coming this week, but that's what I did so that you weren't doing that on the same day. Okay, during the Spanish-American War, fewer men died from battle than from what 2 diseases? So what were the 2 diseases that we mentioned? They were malaria and yellow fever, okay? What insect carries malaria and yellow fever? Those nasty mosquitoes. Oh, I hate being bit by mosquitoes. What man was sent to Panama to help destroy those mosquitoes? It was William Gorgas. Colonel William Gorgas. So as part of your homework today, you are, well, as your homework today, you are answering in the chapter checkup on page 203, the very next page, you're answering numbers 12 through 21, okay? So you're gonna answer those questions. I'm gonna ask some of the other questions, and my hair's falling in my face, but I'm gonna ask some of these questions and then we will be done with our lesson today. How much did the United States pay for Alaska? How much did the United States pay for Alaska? Just over 7 million was $7,200,000. $7,200,000. That would be a 7 and then 200 and then 3 zeros, okay? How does a territory differ from a state? How does a territory differ from a state? Well, in a territory, people cannot vote or choose their own governor. It's appointed by the president, okay? So they still have a voice in politics, or in politics, and from, if they need something, they still have a voice, but they don't get to actually vote for their own governor, and they don't get to vote in like the presidential election or anything like that. So in a territory, it's just a slightly different than a state. They still get the protection of the United States, but they're not, they don't have all the rights as citizens. How far is it from California to Hawaii? Okay, anybody know how far it is from California to Hawaii? 2,000 miles, okay? That's quite a ways, 2,000 miles. Who arranged for the purchase of Alaska by the United States? It was William H. Seward. He was our Secretary of State at the time, okay? What did those who thought Alaska was a frozen wasteland call the new territory? A couple different names. There were Seward's Icebox or Seward's Folly. So you can also remember who was instrumental in purchasing it by remembering what they called it afterwards. Why did it take so many years for Alaska to become a state? Because there were no roads connecting Alaska to the United States, and so people weren't moving up there, and the news that was traveling back and forth was slow, so that's why. In what year did both Alaska and Hawaii become states? 1959, okay? What was Alaska called before the United States purchased it from Russia? Called it Russian America. And what happened in 1896 that convinced everyone that Alaska was a valuable territory? They discovered gold there. Okay, gold was discovered. Let's see. What island near Florida was fighting to gain its independence from Spain? That was Cuba. And then last question, who discovered Hawaii? Captain James Cook. All right. I hope you did well with answering those questions. And if not, make sure that you study. Make sure that as you're answering questions 12 to 21, that you're looking at all of these and studying them, because when we have our review the next time, I want to actually be able to hear you, but I want you participating. I want you to be learning and to be getting all of these facts into your mind so that when you hit the test, you're not going, I don't remember all of this. So hopefully you are able to study well for this, and that you will be well prepared. All right, we will see you later.